Welcome back. Let's finish up this ball object and make it have collisions with the blocks. This is no good the way it is. Okay, let's click on, this is part 4 by the way. Let's click on Add Event. We're in the ball object. And what we need to do is set up a collision so the ball actually doesn't go through the wall. That's not so much fun. So we're going to do collision with the block. The block is the wall. And then we're going to use this really neat command that I learned from Mr. Overmars. It's in the move section, and it's called move to contact. Oh, this thing's awesome. The way I understand it is you set this up so that when you get a certain distance away, we're going to put 12 in here for maximum distance, from an object, it brings you in for a soft landing and gets you nice and close to it. The direction could be any direction. If we're traveling, straight down at 270 or slightly to the left, 280 or slightly to the right, 290. So we don't want to have to set this up for every single one. So we're going to use a variable. Variables are very useful in programming. The name of this variable is, amazingly, direction. And it is the direction that you're traveling at the moment. So make sure you don't capitalize that or anything. We hit OK there. And then the last detail is we want to turn off our vertical speed. So we're going to go to the set vertical speed, and it's at 0. Excellent. Good. So let's give this a try. As you can see, it took us like 1 minute. I should have put that in the last video, but oops. All right, here's the ball. Left, right, up. Oh, look at. See, I can't go through that. Excellent. I can go here. I can jump up. Oh, this is good, good, good stuff. All right, fabulous. We're looking good now. So let's save that. And now, to the fun part. We need to change this ball into a character. This is no fun having a stupid ball jump around. So let's say we want to use Mario. We're going to go to the internet. And the internet is absolutely loaded with lots and lots of these sprites. We're going to, borrow one from an existing game to make our game kind of look fun. If you just go to Google and put in sprites, you're going to see there's lots and lots of sprites out there. We're going to go to the sprite database. This guy's crazy. He's spent years gathering up sprites from all kinds of different game systems. Look at all this stuff. Wow. Let's go to the Super Nintendo. We just want like an old picture of Mario. And please feel free to use any of these. The way I'm going to show you. Oh, look at this. Battletoads. Battletoads was the greatest game ever. Oh, and fighting a Bobo. Oh, God, he was funny. Oh, there he is. All right, calm down, Chuck. We're going to use Mario. But like I said, you use anything you want, and I'll make you sure, if you follow my instructions here, we'll make sure it fits and it's the right size, and you can use it. All right, Super Nintendo, Super Mario. Here we go, Super Mario World. Oh, wow. Did you ever play Super Mario RPG? This was a game. My son and I have played that a couple of different times. It takes quite a while, but it's well worth it. All right, here's Super Mario World. Let's go to Mario and Luigi. And here's a nice set of sprites. They call it a sprite sheet. On here are all of the different images that are in the Super Nintendo game for Mario and Luigi. And they form, you can make little animations. By combining 4 or 5 of these, you can make it look like he's running and jumping and stuff. All right, so we need to save this. I'm going to right-click on it and do Save Picture As. We'll call it Mario and Luigi. I'll save it to my my pictures folder. Hit Save, and now it's on my hard drive. Now you got to remember what you named it. Remember where it is. Kind of like your car at Disney World. Remember where that thing is. All right, let's go back to our game. And we are going to load that sprite sheet into one of our sprites. So let's create a brand new sprite. Click on the red Pac-Man guy. And let's name it Character Left Sprite. Cool. And now let's load the sprite sheet into it. If I go to My Pictures, and come down to find Mario. Get all my eBay stuff I sold. Ooh, there's me. Okay, there's some of my old students. There's Mario and Luigi. Ah, is that cool or what? Look at that. Now notice if yours came out with a background, I forgot to show you something here. If you hit load sprite again, and again we go down to Mario and Luigi, look over here on the right, you can see remove background. Just if yours didn't have a, if yours still has a background, just redo this and check the box remove background. Boom, it's not there anymore. Cool. Now, GameMaker has a really neat editor. It's kind of like a baby version of Photoshop. Let's check this out. We're going to click on the Edit Sprite button. And then you can see everything's turned blue. Just double click it. And now we are in the GameMaker image editor. Okay. This is so cool. One warning, by the way, your opacity should be set to 255 all the time. Sometimes I get students that somehow manage to turn that to 0, and they're like, Mr. Ruthier, I can't do anything. And it's like, because your opacity is at 0. So make sure that stays at 255. Unless you want to make your guy see-through or something, like a ghost one. Okay, now I'm going to look for a character I want. I think I like this one here. It's the 2, 4, it's the 6th row down, the 2nd one in. And he's facing to the right, but we'll flip him over so he's facing to the left. Now, what we want to do before we start cutting and pasting here is we want to make sure that this little guy is going to fit in our 32 by 32. If you chose a larger character, let's say you chose the Abobo from the Battletoads, you're going to need to make him fit into a 32 by 32 pixel box, okay? Because that's how big our sprite is, unless you want to change that in the game, which you can. But let's make sure of our size. And what we're going to do is we're going to toggle our grid on. You see that little tic-tac-toe thing? If I turn that on, and then I go to View Grid Options, and I change this to 32 by 32, what this does is it turns a nice grid on for me, and I can see how big everything is. Okay, so let's zoom in a little, hit the magnifying glass with the plus sign. And you can see that this is, let's see, which of this character I want? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the character I want. Now it doesn't matter where the grid line. You don't have to move this up into the grid line. But if I use the select tool and select around him, and then when you see how you have that little plus sign with the arrows? I can now move him if I wanted to. And see how he fits nicely into this 32 by 32? So I have created, that's perfect. Now, if you have chosen a larger character, the phone, excuse me for a moment. If I want to use, let's say this guy right here. As you can see, it's larger than the 32 by 32. So what you need to do is make that fit inside the grid. So I'm going to hit escape and get rid of the little select lines. So what you'd want to do is you'd want to transform this sheet so that your character fits in the 32 by 32. So this is like a little mini Photoshop. So you go up to transform, and then you say scale. And let's say I want this 20% smaller. I bring this down to 80, and it's going to create a 20% smaller sprite sheet. Okay. And now I've created everything's 20% smaller. So if I did want this particular character, let's say I want this one with Yoshi, and now I move this, you can see that it fits inside. Now, if it didn't fit inside, again, I'd shrink it a little bit more till it fit. One thing to note, if you shrink it too much, don't scale it up. just do an undo, which is this little blue arrow, and then bring it back up. What happens is if you shrink it down too much and then try to scale it up again, it loses resolution and gets all blurry. Okay, so I'm going to undo that. So that's how you get to, I'm going to undo again and get back to my original size. And now I'm going to take the character I want. Okay, so you should have a character you want now. And you should have it be inside, use the select tool, this little square with the little dots on it, and select it. Okay, you got that? Cool. All right, listen to it again if you didn't. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to copy this into a brand new sprite. So I'm going to do Edit, Copy, and then I'm going to do File, New, and I'm going to create a brand new sprite that's 32 by 32. And then I'm going to do Edit, Paste. And you see how he nicely fits in there? Isn't that beautiful? All right, let's kind of put him in the middle and put him on the floor. Hit the escape key to get rid of that line. And look at, I have accidentally brought a little piece of line with me there. Well, that's easy enough. There should be a little eraser in here somewhere. There it is. Oh, let's zoom in a little bit. And we'll get rid of that line. Okay, well, doesn't he look good? All right, we're done with him for now. So let's click on the little green check mark. And click on the little green check mark again. And how cool. Character left sprite. Oops. Anybody see anything wrong with that? Yeah. All right, we'll fix that in a moment. Okay, now let's create the character right sprite, because that's what this one's going to be. Now, we could go through all that stuff again, or we could do this. Watch this. We right-click on our character left sprite, and we say duplicate. Okay, and you're just going to go in. Let's rename it to character right sprite. And you probably want to name these, Mario left sprite, Abobo left, whatever. All right, so let's say okay to that. All right, so now here's our character right sprite. Looks good. Our character left sprite, oops, we kind of screwed up on that. So let's go back up to the character left sprite. And remember, this is Photoshop. This is a mini version of Photoshop. Let's click Edit Sprite. And let's just flip it over. Go to Transform, Mirror, Flip. Okay. Boom. Oh, that was easy. I love easy. Click on the check mark. Okay, we're looking good here. We've got Mario left, Mario right. He doesn't look like he's quite centered. Shall we just center him just for to be thorough? Okay, we double click on here. We zoom in a little bit. We circle him, and let's just move him over a little bit. So try to get him in the middle. Okay, good. And then let's check the character right sprite. Let's center him too. So edit the sprite, double click on him, zoom in, use the select tool. Make sure you get all of them when you select them. And then let's just try to get him in the center. Cool. All right. Good. Okay, so we've got our character left, and we've got our character right, and I think this is probably a good time to end this particular lesson. All right, come back, and we'll finish this up. And I think this is probably a good time to end this particular lesson. All right, come back, and we'll finish this up.